An official announcement from
Unless viewers of Moscow television were watching the 9 p.m. news closely on Monday, April 28, they would have missed the brief and buried report of the biggest nuclear accident in history, an accident that had occurred at least 2 days earlier at Chernobyl in the Ukraine.
And this is where we're going to have lunch. I still live in the same small town that I grew up in. It's just the way things worked out. I've never been anywhere that I can't drive. I wanted to write for Rolling Stone magazine or National Geographic, but that wasn't my lot in life. I never ventured far. Like most people in small towns, I seem to have enough money to get me from one set of bills to the next. I always had that feeling like I was stuck. That this is it. I knew that wasn't going to change unless I did it myself. One day I saw one photo too many and I just wondered, how do you do that? How do you get into Chernobyl? I did an internet search and I found out really quickly there are no all-inclusive vacations to Chernobyl. So I had to figure it out on my own. I was using Evernote a lot at this point, so I just opened up a new document and I started typing. Time of year I wanted to go, how long I thought I want to be there. I made a checklist. Book the flight, book the tour, book a room. First thing I did is I told one of my friends who I knew he'd keep me accountable. Not in the, you can do this kind of way, but in the, so how come you didn't do that, bud? Kind of way. I didn't want to let him down. Then I found a travel site that didn't have all of those frustrating pop-ups, and I started juggling dates. I started seeing what happened when I left on a Monday, what if I came back on a Thursday, what would happen if I left on a Sunday, came back on a Tuesday. I kept juggling those dates until I found the sweet spot. Checked it off. Then it was real. I had to go. I bought a plane ticket to Kiev. The next thing I did is I looked for an agency that could actually get me into Chernobyl legally. When you start looking this stuff up, you start to find a lot of shady dealings that can probably get you in for an exciting time, but the consequences outweigh the rewards. As far as agencies go, I picked a great one, and they let me stray from the group when it was reasonable. And I strayed a lot. I didn't know where I was going to sleep, but I knew as long as I got to Kiev, I was going to get into Chernobyl. I'm used to traveling light and sleeping rough. It's one of those things I do. In the city of Kiev, you can find hostels as cheap as $7. There's a hostel for every type of walk of life. If you want the quiet hostel, you can get a quiet hostel. Party person, you can get the party hostel. I ended up going with an Airbnb so I could have a little more privacy than you would get at a hostel. For the first time in my life, I was going to go somewhere peculiar. Anywho, that's the how I got to Chernobyl. Part 2 is going to be when I got to Chernobyl. I took a lot of photos, so there will be a smackerel of them. Like, share, and subscribe if you will. If you're like me, or if you've ever been like me in the sense that you just think you're not going to have a trip anywheres, but you daydream about it, comment about it down below. I'd love to know where you'd like to go someday. Speaking of good deals, YouTube, you got me last time with the copyright infringement. I knew it was coming. I worked out a trade with Wolfsuka from Missoula, Montana. In my world, Wolfsuka are musical heavyweights. I'm just going to enjoy this moment that they let me have.
When she left, my world died. The leaves would wilt and there was snow and ice. But when she came back, my world returned. The sun rose in the sky as I heard